And we talked about should felons have voting rights. Bob in Sacramento wants to weigh in on that one. Hey, Bob, welcome to the program.
Hey, Tom. It's been a long time since I've spoken to you. I've been away in the Illinois State Penitentiary for a few years.
Oh, my.
Over medical cannabis.
Really?
Yes, sir.
What happened?
As you know, California has had legal medical cannabis for many years, and
right.
Rhode Island had just legalized. So I took it upon myself to drive a trunkload full of medicine to Rhode Island.
From California?
From California.
Well, you had to drive that trunkload full of medicine through a whole bunch of states that don't consider it medicine.
That's true, and I knew I was taking a risk, and unfortunately, when I got to LaSalle County, Illinois, I come to find out that they post up looking for out-of-state plates, and they pull over everyone they can, and they search you with or without reason. In my case, the officer said he smelled cannabis through 2 vacuum seals, inside duffel bags, inside the trunk of the car, past a stinky dog standing next to the freeway outside the car.
He had a canine with him, and the canine didn't detect it?
No. He, super cop, smelled it himself.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay.
You see, yeah. A dog couldn't have smelled it. And in fact, the dog evidence would have been thrown out because of the dog in the car.
So the result of that was that they threw you in the can?
The result of that was I spent 3 years at in the hospitality of the Illinois Department of Correction.
Wow. What was that like, if you don't mind my asking?
It was low-level torture, very low level, because I was in what they considered to be a minimum security prison.
Right.
And but you sleep on bare metal with not enough padding to even remotely make you think you're not sleeping on bare metal.
Right.
I mean, it's insulated from the cold, but other than that, it was no cushion whatsoever. And I'm a 61-year-old man, and as you may imagine, the aches and pains of age increased significantly while I was in those conditions.
I can imagine.
And I was living in a bathroom, of course, in a toilet. The toilet was in the room. I lived with one other person through the whole time.
Right.
And was not, despite many requests, was not able to acquire an in-prison job or in-prison schooling. And then they decided to hold that against me in parole. You know, you didn't do anything. You know, so
right.
It's a compound of negative effects.
That's bizarre. Was this a private prison or was it a state prison?
Oh no, it was Illinois Department of Correction.
Yeah.
Now the state of Illinois basically extorted $5,000 in legal fees to a private attorney. It wasn't the state, but right. And I got off cheap for $5,000.
Right.
They took what would basically $200,000 in wholesale value of cannabis from me,
right,
and destroyed it.
Right.
They took $12,000 in cash and my car.
Right.
Destroyed my computer and threatened to kill my dog. Fortunately, somebody adopted her until she died of old age.
Right. Well, that amount of cannabis, I mean, pretty much anywhere qualifies you as a dealer.
Well, yes, and that's true.
That's a hell of a chance you took, Bob.
Well, of course it is, Tom, but that's what a freedom fighter does. I mean, to some degree, I've been dealing in medical cannabis since before it was legal in California.
So were you planning on making a political statement when you got to Rhode Island with us, or just were you looking at a business opportunity? You were going to hook up with a clinic or something? I mean, what was...
Well, I didn't know for sure. I knew one or two people in Rhode Island who lived there, and I wasn't sure what the laws were going to be when I got there, so it was either going to be... I've given a great deal of medical cannabis away at no charge. It's not like everything is about money. I'm an old hippie, not much unlike yourself, and I'm egalitarian, unlike the mega rich folks that you were just discussing.
Yeah.
And I'm so I didn't know whether it was going to be something that I would make a significant profit on, or whether it was just going to be a bona fide to help become a producer in the new state.
Right.
It was a feeler expedition is what it really was.
Fascinating. Bob, we only have about a half a minute left. Just a heads up.
Anyway, yeah, I think I should vote, and yeah, I think the drug war needs to end immediately.
Yeah.
And so forth and so on. Because, as I said, I've been doing medical cannabis since I had a large gay clientele in the early 90s, because the neighborhood I lived in, artsy-fartsy musicians and actors and painters and such, lots of gays, and I knew lots of AIDS people. And
medical cannabis helps people who are on therapy for AIDS?
Significantly. It lets them eat.
Yeah. I have seen it with cancer patients and chemotherapy. This stuff works. Bob, I'm very sorry to hear about your lost 3 years. I'm really glad that you're back. Thanks for calling us. Great talking with you. I wish you all the very best. Hope to hear from you again.